Okay, so this seems to be, is it working? Seems to be working. Okay, so this seems to be, is it working? Seems to be working. Okay, so this seems to be, I'm just going to close that for a bit. There's some feedback in the back end. Let me try and see if I can solve that for you. There shouldn't be any. Okay, so let's try and do this again. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to basically use OpenVoice to voice clone my own voice. I attempted to do this a couple of hours ago, and where we ran into problem was that there was a cuDNN error which I couldn't solve, and I tried installing different versions of uh, different versions of CUDA. Sorry, not CUDA. Different versions of Torch, and it went into an infinite loop where it tried to figure out what is the right version that it should install for Torch and Torch Vision. I couldn't figure that out. Right, it took up almost 70 GBs, I think, of my disk space, or maybe more. Um, which I have no clue how to. I mean, we'll solve that at some point. So let's not worry about it. So what I want to do now is not use pip for environment management, rather use something else, right? So one of the first questions is, can I use, because I use mice, so I'm also trying to figure out, can I use mice with Conda? It may be possible. I don't know. We'll see, right? So let's look at mice documentation. So mice with Conda. Otherwise, we'll have to install Conda on my WSL system. Um, I don't think there is a way to do this. If there is no way, then we probably will have to use stop using mice and directly use Conda, which I don't mind. It's not necessarily a good thing to do. Yeah. Look, I'm going to create a mice plugin at this point for Conda. So I'm just going to figure out how to use Conda instead and see if that works. Conda on WSL is what I need. If you don't find a way to install Conda in WSL, then we're just going to use Conda on Ubuntu. That should work. Let's see. Actually don't want to install it on Windows. I want to install it on WSL. So I might well follow the instructions for Linux. This Debian, it has Red Hat. Look, I've already screwed up my I'm not gonna do this, right? So I'm just gonna install Conda first. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's the latest Conda version that I can get from here. What I want is the Linux version, this one. So I'm gonna get the Linux version, this one, copy the link. I'm just gonna follow what this guy says. So the first thing it says is replace, so I can do wget, right? So let's do wget. The other thing that I'm going to do is we're going to deactivate this mice plugin. I'm going to still maybe use Python from mice. Yeah, so the problem is Python. So my problem is this mice. I have these here, right? So I'm just gonna delete this for a bit. I do want 3.9, right? So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna delete the env. I don't need it anymore. And then let's see. So which Python, and this time it should do something else, yeah, which is what we sort of expected. And then Python minus v will also give me 3.9. So this is what we need. I'm gonna do the wget. I'm not gonna do it here. One more on my home, and then wget this. Since download the installer. And then we just need to run the installer first to do this, right? So let's see. LSA, the installer is not executable. So chmod x miniconda this, and then / miniconda this. It's asking me to look at the entire library, sorry, the licenses. So I'm just going to accept it for now and move on. Let's see, what does it say? I think I'm going to leave it at that in the default space, right? That makes sense. I will keep the default, and then it says doing conda init. So we'll do conda init, but not in the home path, but here. So we'll do conda init. Let's see if it works. It doesn't, obviously it will not work because um, so it doesn't work because conda is not installed here yet, right? So I'm gonna have to open this again. So conda init still doesn't work. Outstanding. What's happening? Why is it not working? I think the reason why it's not working is when I installed Conda, there was a last option, and I'm going to go to the home and do a dot slash Conda, press enter, press scroll down, say yes, agree. Okay, so -u, enter, scroll down, yes. I think we're going to set this in the default shells. It will probably install some or rather configure some paths in my, I don't know where. I'm just going to say yes for now, and let's see what happens. So it has modified my .bash rc, right? So let's see what has it done. So cat dot bash rc conda installation. So there's a conda setup it has done, which is absolutely fine, right? So we're gonna use that. Let's see if conda works now. Still doesn't work. Maybe I have to do this. So source source dot bash c. Something happened, right? So conda init, action taken, outstanding. Something has initiated, so I'm gonna go back to here and see what it says. So conda create. I'm just gonna use exactly what they've said because last time I tried to experiment some things, it did not work. Could have worked. I mean, it was rather touch and go. I'm gonna do this, right? So I'm gonna conda activate. Right, so now we've switched from base to open voice. And then I have my open voice already downloaded and configured. So that's fine. I'm gonna do pip install. So once this is complete, I still expect to see some errors. And we may have to go back to some of the troubleshooting that we have seen in open voice, right? So cuDNN errors that we've seen. cuDNN this not it? Issue that there aren't many issues, and some of these are related to, I think, kernel died issues is what we are looking for. But this one also, this is not what I want. This is the one actually. So anyway, so once we face the error, we'll search that and we'll find the issue, because I've seen this issue once in the past. So let it just install and everything that it needs to install. Just gonna keep the mice turning. This thing, there are like 70 iterations of Torch that I have downloaded, but got downloaded while I was trying to figure out how what's the error I was getting. And it's taken about 70 GB of my disk space, which I still need to clear. I have a script which does that, by the way, so I don't have to do it manually. So we'll see once this is complete. Just waiting for all of this to install. Hopefully this solves the problem and I don't run into errors again. So one thing different that I'm seeing here when I when I'm when I'm using the Conda um, version to install everything is that the pip is in fact downloading more packages than it did last time. Um, maybe it's the some Conda magic. I don't know. We'll see. My expectation is once this all works, we will get a libcode CNN error at some point. And the kernel, the Jupyter kernel that we have will it crashed a couple of times when we tried to do this a couple of hours ago. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, there are a couple of fixes which I saw in the issues. Um, some of them might work. Um, if it doesn't work, then what I'll do is I'll downgrade my CUDA version down to 11.8 or 12.1 rather than 12.5, which is the latest one that's installed. Right? A lot of libraries don't have the late doesn't support the latest CUDA. Um, in fact, Torch doesn't. The latest officially stable supported version is 12.1. So, which is fine. I mean, we'll just install 12.1, right? And we'll see if that works. See, it is installing good and then 12, right? Which is good, right? It solves a lot of our problem. Um, the issue is some libraries are missing, and I don't know. Actually, the good thing is I've already screwed up my WSL configuration, right? So I could probably screw it up more by installing random packages. That's what I'm gonna do now. Um, and I have autoconfig, right? That's one of the GitHub repositories that I have, which will configure my entire WSL in Snap, right? So I don't have to worry about it. I mean, I don't worry about it. It's just that it's a bit of a hassle to delete your WSL and then reinstall it. Um, I have automated 90% of things, um, but the 10% takes up some time, which I'm just being a bit wary of. Still installing. I'm just waiting for this to complete the installation of all the packages. You need to get some meds while this happens, right? So you guys stay and there's nobody except me. So still waiting for this to complete. I don't know how long it's going to take. Just gonna stroll and come back in 5 minutes.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम। खैरियत? हाँ, नुमान को लेके नीचे गए थे। जी आ गए आ गए। पापा पास है, दिखाते हैं। हाँ दिखाते हैं बेटा। सही नहीं आता। मतलब हाँ
All right, seems everything is installed. So we're gonna reattempt to run our demo once again and see what happens. So I have put some things here just to, okay, what's happening? Select a Python interpreter. We use this one, right? Yeah, 3.9. Maybe not that one, something else, right? Because I have a Conda thing. No. Well, let's see. So I have this. How do I use this? Right, so open voice. So let's say which, if I do which Python, it goes back to there. And then if I do which pip, goes back to there. So has this installed the, no, so Conda environment. Again, I'm a bit perplexed how this works, how Conda works, right? So what we'll do is we'll try and go and look at the Conda folder and see there is something there, right? So cd mini Conda, let's say. Before we get there, there are other things that we need to do, right? So let's just first finish all of them and then we'll see what needs to happen. I need to download and install this. So to Checkpoint version 2 is already downloaded. So I'm gonna pip install this one. Now I feel I should have created a virtual environment regardless of whether they did something or not, right? But I have Conda activate, so this should ideally would have already given me something, and it's a bit disconcerting that I'm um, not able to do that. But I think that's fine. Let's see. So where is it installing? So mine installs site packages. So it is installing everything in the base Python fold file, which is a bit of a problem. Not ideal. That's okay. I can always delete the site packages later. And as I said, I've already screwed up this bit, so doesn't matter if I screwed up a bit more my WSL extension or WSL environment. But the challenge is here, torch is not visible. Although I have installed it, it has done something with it, right? It's not that it is not installed. Yeah, this is what it is using, right? If I do that, what's happening? Okay, we'll see. Some of these things needs to be done. We'll do it. Is there an env in my conda? Let's see. Okay, this is also installed. So what happens if I try to run this? It's asking me to install some package. Let's just go ahead and do that. It's kind of stupid that we are creating a virtual environment with CUDA and then installing things in pip, right? Ideally, we should have been using conda to install whatever packages we need. But that's okay. I'm not gonna be picky about it. So as you can see, this is true, this is true, this is true. Cannot do this. वो फेंक देगा बाहर.
पापा
बेटू, yeah, चोट लग जाएगा. So this has worked. And then instead of using the resources, I want to use my own voice, which is voice underscore sample dot mp3 mp3, and I'm gonna click on this and hopefully it completes and my kernel doesn't crash. paper machine. I can tell there's something wrong. Because this one is not progressing. Oh, no, this is completed. We have downloading technology was complete. Now better. Just now let it complete and see whether it completes or crashes. Hey, बैठिए आप लगी आप लगी बैटरी मिल गया तुमको. Okay, so the kernel has died again, and what is the error that I'm getting? Here is a different error, so we're just going to see what's happening. I think the part of the problem could be mice is not that mature. Let's see if my IPyKernel is installed. Solid installed. I don't know what else it wants. Yeah, I'm gonna rerun everything. Next one. I'm just gonna try this one also and see if this helps. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to convert this to a Python file. Let's call it main dot or rather dot py and put everything in there, right? Because it is becomes very non-descriptive at times. Okay, so now that I have this, I need python dot slash dot slash app.py. So libbolas is not found. We're just gonna try to install this directly. Let's see what happens. बेटू और बच्चू दे दीजिए। लगाएंगे, हम लगाएंगे, इसमें लगाएंगे, इसमें लगाएंगे, इसमें लगाएंगे, नहीं इसमें लगाएंगे, इसमें लगाएंगे, इसमें लगाएंगे हम बैटरी। ठीक है, हाँ बेटा, हाँ पापा जाओ, पापा क्या कीजिएगा, हाँ बोल लीजिएगा, चोट लग जाएगा, चोट लग जाएगी सबको। क्या है हाँ चले जा रहे, वेट 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 वेट, टूट जाएगा बेटा, टूट जाएगा, टूट जाएगा, टूट जाएगा, टूट दीजिए, टूट जाएगा। हाँ क्या है कबूल, अरे चाबी 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 गिर जाएगा तो फिर कैसे होगा, कैसे आएंगे गाड़ी में, बाद में चलेंगे। चल बॉल कहाँ, बाबू का बॉल, वो तो वो नहीं, आपका दूसरा बॉल देता, हरा वाला बॉल नीचे से लेके आए थे ना बॉल, वो नहीं, और आपका बॉल कहाँ है, ये देखिए तो आपका बॉल खोज के लेके लेके आए थे ना, ये लेके आए तो देखिए, यानी मम्मी से पूछ, मम्मी से पूछे बॉल कहाँ है। If this doesn't also work, it's almost 10 at night. I'm gonna call it a day and we'll see what we can do sometime later. I think I have to downgrade to CUDA 11 and रुकिए ना बेटा, थोड़ा पापा काम कर लें। हाँ आ रहे आ रहे, मम्मी कर, मम्मी कर, मम्मी कर। Try and install it again. I think I already have this installed, but for some reason I'm getting an error for. And this is part of the problem, right? So it's 12.5. I have 12.5 in my Windows as well. Most of these stable. I mean, the tools that we use is built upon Torch, and Torch, the latest stable Torch is 12.1. So any application that we have is 12.1. So I think I'm gonna have to downgrade to 12.1 at some point, and just go from there. Um, let's see what happens once we try and do this right. Yeah, CUDA toolkit, which is way too high. 12.5 is simply not going to work. We're going to change it to 12.1 once I'm done with this. But part of this is the stable versions on Linux that can use paper, CUDA, whatever, is 12.1. Okay. So we're just gonna use 12.1. CUDA, CUDA toolkit download. Instead of 12.5, we need 12.1. So to till I come, good night, goodbye.